Hello everyone, I am UnsungNPC back here with another class video for you. Today we are going to be looking at the Psychic class. I'm very excited for this one. If you're like, whoa, I don't have a Psychic class, that's because it's a modded class from the Call of the Wild mod on the Nexus. I think it's really cool that the mod creator added this class because Pathfinder is one of the few tabletop rule sets that actually does psychics well. Um, Integrating them into society, the mechanics of them working very similarly to spellcasters, but just having them be called psychic powers and psychic spells instead. I think other tabletops try to make psychics so much more of a thing on its own, and Pathfinder just incorporates it so effortlessly. So, really excited about this one. So, let's dig in. The psychic is what it is. It's a psychic. You have psychic spells instead of your usual spells. A lot of the spells look the same. Um, You'll find some spells in here that are very similar to other spell class lists, but you add some different spells that aren't in other lists, like Thought Shield, Telekinetic Strike, where'd it go? Mind Thrust, Mental Barrier, lots of different things um, as you go. So the big thing about psychics is that they get a Phrenic pool, which is like your psychic points, which is equal to half your level plus either your wisdom or your charisma modifier, which is based on the psychic discipline that you choose. And we'll be looking at the disciplines and everything. You also get discipline spells, so spells on the discipline list, and you get Phrenic amplifications, eventually greater amplifications. Um, and These act as like these kind of like special powers, um, and they amplify different parts of your psychic magic, basically. Um, while the Phrenic pool uses charisma or wisdom, your spells are dictated by your intelligence modifier. So you're gonna have two mental scores to focus on. Intelligence is the main one, but then you're also going to have wisdom or charisma to fall back on. But being able to do charisma makes psychic a great choice for this game because of all those persuasion checks. And then eventually you get Phrenic Mastery, where your Phrenic pool increases by 6, and then you gain 2 new amplifications at the end there. Um, so yeah, we'll be taking a look at those after we go through the archetypes, but that is a psychic. The next one is the Amnesiac. So the Amnesiac is focused more on versatility than a regular psychic. So you get half the number of spells. So basically, instead of choosing a number of spells known as a psychic, and you get access, you access spells she knew the previous day from the recesses of her mind. So for each spell the Amnesiac can cast, you retain a number of spells known equal to half the usual number of psychic spells known, basically. But you get this cool ability called Spell Recollection, where you roll a d100, and then you get to see if you can recall a spell, and you get to pick from your different spell lists. So it adds that versatility in there. Um, 1 to 10 is being unable to cast a spell that round. 11 to 35 is can't remember the new spell, but you can still cast spells. 36 to 95 is you can remember and cast the new spell, and then 96 and higher is you cast a spell and you don't expend a spell slot. And whenever you use it this way, you get the spell as one of your spells known for the rest of the day. Um, mhm. So yeah, you get spell recollection, and you can use it once per hour. So in a game where they really do a good job of keeping track of time, you can figure out being able to use this. And if you succeed lots of times, I mean, you're going to get more spells overall than a regular psychic, but only up to the number of spell slots that you would normally have. So, all right, the Megami telepath. This one sacrifices some Phrenic amplifications that you would normally get to be able to add druid spells to your spell list. So otherwise it functions like a normal psychic, but you can add druid spells to your spell list. And you don't get discipline spells as a Megami telepath because you're getting these primal spells. And also Nature's Command. So when you cast a mind affecting spell, you can spend 2 points from your Phrenic pool to overcome the plant creature's immunity to mind affecting effects for the purposes of that spell. And at 11th level, you can treat them as if they share a language with you for language dependent spells. So being able to use it on plant creatures, kind of cool. I don't think there's that many plant creatures in this game, so maybe not the best bonus, but druid spells are always fun. I like druid spells a lot. Next is the Esoteric Starseeker. For real versatility, I love this one, especially in later levels, because you sacrifice a discipline at all. You don't get a discipline, or you get a discipline, but you don't get discipline spells at all. You get these like different cosmic caravan things, these constellations, and you get to like attune yourself to one each day, and they each grant you different discipline spells, basically. So you've got the Lantern Bearer, the Newlyweds, the Daughter, the Rider, the Patriarch, the Wagon, the Pack, the Mother, the Stranger, and the Follower. I love this one. I think especially in later levels when you get these like you get like all of the spells. I think it's just really cool being able to change your discipline spells like that based on what you're going up against. So I really like that one. Otherwise, it is another psychic. Mutation Mind is very different than your regular psychic. So Mutation Mind, as a swift action, you can grant yourself a +4 bonus to strength and a -2 to intelligence at 12th level +6, at 16th level +8. You can do it for a number of minutes per day equal to your psychic level, and you don't have to use them consecutively, but you have to be used in 1 minute increments. So you have to finish off the whole minute. So it's kind of like a rage effect almost. But then you get bodily mutations. So whenever you gain a Phrenic application, you can select either that or a bodily mutation as per like summoner evolutions and stuff. And whenever you use Mutation Mind, you can just do these bodily mutations on you. So this becomes more like a physical psychic. So you have intelligence and these other things, so you have your Phrenic pool, and then you sacrifice that so that you can have these mutations on you, which is pretty sick. And then eventually you get improved bodily mutations. So I really like this one. I don't love strength-based characters, so I don't play them. But if you are into strength-based characters, I think this one's really cool. Just as like a frontliner spell boy, and just being able to give yourself that boost for eventually up to 20 minutes a day, which is huge. So I think that is really interesting. The next one is one of my favorites, just like the Starseeker, is the Psychic Marauder. So Psychic Marauder is the perfect archetype if you want to make your persuasion like face character, because First and foremost, the Psychic Marauder uses Charisma for will saves instead of your Wisdom, which is crazy. I don't think any other character does that. Except for like Paladins being able to add their Charisma, but that's not the same. Then you get Aura of Insanity. So as a standard action, you can spend a point to manifest the Aura of Insanity. It's centered on you, has a radius of 10 feet, increasing by 5 feet for every 3 class levels. And any hostile creature starting your turn there must succeed on a will save or be confused. Lasts a number of rounds equal to your Charisma modifier. Then you get Cracked Perspectives, so you're immune to confusion and insanity effects. Being immune to confusion in this game is awesome, by the way. Then you get Aura of Insanity 2, so you can just spend 1 extra point to force affected creatures to always re-roll acts normally confused conditions. So if when they can on the confusion spell, you roll to see what happens, and if you get acts normally, the enemy then has to re-roll. They can never act normally, which is awesome. And then rank 3, which is where you spend 2 extra points. They just become confused without rolling. You get to select the result. You just get to select the result for them, which is so cool. So like this late game is a very interesting aura, the Aura of Insanity. I think it's really cool. It's cool that it only affects hostile creatures. I think it's great for a charisma-based character build. I honestly don't think you can go wrong with it. Totally worth giving up the amplifications for, in my opinion. So, pretty sick. The Psychic. I want us to take a look at the different things here. Also, check out the favored class mod because it's awesome. You get all these bonuses to your favored class. Don't want to pass that up. For sure. Alright. Just gonna buff out intelligence here. Okay. Boom. Alright, so traits. Psychic discipline. So these are the psychic disciplines. There's also one for faith if you're not an atheist. I always play atheist characters, so you can, if you play a religious character, you can totally do faith psychic, which is a really interesting concept. Obviously, it uses wisdom. Your powers serve to protect you or cure you and your allies. Okay, well. So you've got Abomination, which uses charisma. You gain the ability to do the dark half. So dark forces overcome you as a swift action. You increase the DCs of your spells by 1 and get a +2 bonus to will saves and immune to fear. If you cast a spell that deals damage, you can cause a creature that took damage to also take 1 point of bleed damage. Increases to 2 at 5th, 3 at 13th. You can't use charisma, dexterity, or intelligence-based skills except for mobility and intimidate. Or any concentration spells. Any concentration other than using psychic magic or Phrenic applications. Wow. You have to exceed an intelligence check to return to normal. If you fail, you continue to manifest your dark half and you can't attempt to change back. That's sick. Oh, that's so cool. Morphic form. You gain DR5. Wow. Okay. And then Psychic Safeguard, so you'll gain spell resistance equal to 8 plus your caster level. While manifesting your dark half, the spell resistance increases to 16 plus your caster level. Oof. And then you gain all these spells. as discipline spells. So Blur, Ray, Confusion, Burst of Force, Mental Barrier 5, Insanity, Orb of the Void, and Telekinetic Storm. So some more psychic spells. Then we have Ferocity, which uses Wisdom. Enhanced Senses. You can spend 1 point from your Phrenic pool as a standard action to gain Blind Sense within 30 feet for 1 minute. Your Blind Sense is continuously active, and you can spend 1 point as a standard action to gain Blind Sight. Okay, so at 11th level, you always get Blind Sense, but then can increase it to Blind Sight, which is really cool. You gain the Die Hard feat, and whenever you have less than 25 hit points, you gain a +4 morale bonus to your strength and dexterity, as well as a +2 morale bonus to fortitude. Ferocity would pair really well with a mutation psychic, I think. That would be really interesting. Just getting that +4 strength and dex on top of your other strength bonus. Because this one's morale, and the mutator is a alchemical bonus. So you'd get both, which is really cool. Primal Fury. This functions as transformation with the following exceptions. You can use it a number of rounds per day equal to your level. They don't have to be consecutive. End it as a free action. You are fatigued for 1 minute after. You cannot enter a new Primal Fury while fatigued or exhausted. If you fall unconscious, it ends. Okay. Then you got all your spells: Bull Strength, Heroism, Freedom of Movement, Stone Skin, Transformation, Mind Blank, Frightful Aspect, Foresight. Okay, cool. Next is a Charisma one, Pageantry. I quite like Pageantry. Ritual Unity. You can aid another to assist an ally with a skill check. If you succeed at the DC 20 skill check, you impart a +4 to your ally on their next skill check. When you successfully aid an ally in this way, you regain 1 point in your Phrenic pool. Oh, you regain a point in your Phrenic pool? Okay. You can use it a number of times to your charisma modifier. That's cool. I really like that one. Power from Pageantry. Starting from 5th level, you can spend 1 point from your Phrenic pool as a move action to increase the caster level and saving throw DC by 1 for the next spell you cast. That one makes Pageantry worth it to me. Just being able to just be like, increase that DC by 1. Thank you. Unrivaled Focus. I love this ability. Whenever you attempt a concentration check, you can spend 1 point to treat the result of your die roll as a 20. That's really cool too. Automatic concentration. So I also like the spells that you get from this one. Hold Person Mass, Heroic or Frightful Aspect, Heroic Invocation, Rainbow Pattern is a great spell. Silence is a great spell. Pageantry is just so good for one of the charisma based ones. But honestly, Abomination was pretty sick too. I really like that one. Then we have Pain, which is also charisma. As a swift action, you can cause an enemy to take 1d8 points of non-lethal damage. You can use this ability a number of times per day. Damage increases as you level up. Okay. And you regain a point to your pool if you deal at least 5 damage. Live On. You can use Lay on Hands as though you were a paladin of 3 levels lower than your psychic level. You also gain access to the Mercies. You can target only yourself with Lay on Hands or Mercies gained from... Okay, so it's only for yourself, but that's still pretty cool. Agonizing Wound. Whenever you cast a spell that deals damage to a creature, you can also make that creature frightened or sickened for 1 round. If you expend 2 uses of it, you can instead have the creature become dazed, nauseated, or panicked, and you can attempt a will save to negate it. You can use a number of times equal to 3 plus your charisma modifier. Okay. That's pretty cool too. Psychics are cool, man. Psychics are cool. They function really, really interestingly. Suffocation Mass. Mass Suffocations too good of a spell, let me tell you. Especially if you pair it with Waves of Exhaustion, because what Suffocation does is you become fatigued, then exhausted, and then you die. And if you use Waves of Exhaustion first and then Mass Suffocation, everyone just dies immediately. Psychedelia. I also love Psychedelia because of all the enchantment magic. It's pretty cool for enchantment builds. And there's some cool spells in here. So you had Synesthesia. Overstimulate your senses. Oh yeah, that's on other creatures. Confusion. Phantasmal Web. Joyful Rapture. Waves of Ecstasy. Euphoric Tranquility. And then Divide Mind, which is pretty cool. So the powers. Cognition. So it works like similar to a alchemist. So you get +2 natural armor, +4 bonus to the selected ability score. So you can enhance charisma, wisdom, or intelligence. If you choose to enhance your charisma, you apply a penalty to your constitution. Otherwise, this ability works just like Alchemist Mutation ability. When the effect of the cognition ends, you take 2 points ability damage to the ability score penalized. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Warped Brain. When another creature uses a mind-affecting spell or ability against you, that creature must attempt a will save. If it fails, it becomes nauseated. I will tell you, I have played a Psychedelia Esoteric Starseeker, and Warped Brain happens a lot more often than you think it would. Just constantly making people nauseated for using mind-affecting spells on you, which mind-affecting spells get used a lot in this game, especially by like the Fae and stuff. So like, just making everyone nauseated is amazing. Yeah. Hallucinogenic Aura. Any creature within 20 feet of you must succeed as a will save or become confused for 1d4 rounds. Yeah. Everyone else is immune to it, you and your allies. But that's fun. Just a confusion aura. Why not? Why not? So this one's kind of redundant if you're the that specific. If you're a psychic marauder, I feel like it just becomes redundant. I don't think you need Aura of Insanity and the hallucinogenic aura. But if you want to double up, then confuse everyone. Why not? Great idea. And then we have the Phrenic amplifications. There's so many of them. So I'm going to go through these and like hover over them. And then if you want to pause the video at any point to read what it does, feel free to. Biokinetic healing, conjured armor, defensive prognostication, focus force, mind's eye, ongoing defense, overpowering mind, psycho feedback, relentless casting, undercast surge, will of the dead, adhesive, bite attack, claws, dual amplification, elongated legs, elongated torso, enlarged body. Some of these are the bodily mutations as well, clearly. So make sure you're checking that out. Mimic meta magic 1. So you can read it through all the way, all of them. Multiple eyes, recuperation, rubbery, slimy, space rending spell, synaptic shock, and wings. There are actually some really cool bodily mutations in here, I think. Kind of dig these a lot. But yeah, there you go. Feel free to stop the video at any point to read what those do and check those out. But this is the Psychic class. I think they're pretty fun to play. Like I said, I've played Esoteric Starseeker and Psychic Marauder a little bit. I think they're both a blast. It's like Starseeker offers some really cool versatility, which I enjoy. So if you haven't picked up this mod yet, Call of the Wild on the Nexus, it's going to be in my description as well as all the other mods that I use. So go ahead and pick those up. I think that all these classes and different archetypes are so cool, and it would be really cool if you try them out. Holic92 on the Nexus, fantastic mod creator, makes pretty much the really good mechanical mods for Pathfinder Kingmakers, so check those out. But yeah, I'm UnsungNPC. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe made you want to play a psychic or test out the mod or what have you. I'm excited for Wrath of the Righteous. I hope you are too. If you're new to this game or CRPGs in general, welcome. Glad to have you here. It's a great time. But I will catch you guys in the next one.